Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, that I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below, right here, right now. Please hit the bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're finding the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some light love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about aromantic and romantic struggles that are similar. Now you might be thinking, why would they be similar when an aromantic asexual doesn't experience any romantic attraction or sexual attraction, and a romantic asexual doesn't experience any sexual attraction, but they still experience romantic attraction? I'll be discussing that in a moment. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 asexual stories, love, life and sex book. I'm also the founder of Asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and I'm an asexuality coach. I specialise in dating and relationships and all things asexuality. So let's get into tonight's episode. So I was doing some research. I've got a client who's an asexual coaching client later to date now. And I can't obviously divulge any information, but I was like watching lots of different videos, doing lots of research. Obviously, I know a lot about asexuality, but it's always good to broaden my horizons and, you know, to help people more, I need to learn a lot of different things, a mixture of things, more things, expand my knowledge in lots of different multiple areas. And so one of the things I came across was some videos, obviously. And one of these videos was an aromantic asexual. And they were expressing how difficult their life is in terms of having relationships that are not romantic. So having relationship with friends, basically. And they were explaining that they'd had a queer platonic relationship before and that didn't work out. And that the reason that they felt that they should get into a queer platonic relationship is because they felt that their feelings of intense, like, emotion towards a person, intense kind of like squishes they were talking about, those intense feelings, they felt like they had to be in a relationship in order to kind of validate the fact that they had squishes despite not experiencing any romantic attraction. They kind of felt like they had to do something with those feelings and make it in the form of a construct. And so in society, we're basically told and conditioned to believe that relationships should be of a certain nature. And we're taught from a very, very young age that we should all be having sex and that we should all be heterosexual and that we should all be basically having a relationship, because without a relationship, you're not valid. You know, like, why are you still single? Why aren't you in a relationship? Like, there's something wrong with you. And it's always taught that penis to vagina sex is the be all and end all of relationships and basically your life purpose. And, you know, there's a lot of heteronormativity and ananormativity, is that the right word? There's a lot of basically conditioning, constraints, conformities that we are brought up to believe is meant to be the way relationships are, you know, and that's what we're supposed to all adhere to, all aspire to, all conform to. And this is how come it's very difficult for both aromantic asexuals and romantic asexuals, right? Because aromantic asexuals, they don't experience romantic attraction or sexual attraction. And many aromantic asexuals can get fed up with the fact that romance is expected in a relationship. And that if romance isn't a relationship, it somehow seems to the aromantic that they're being invalidated, because everyone holds romantic relationships in really high regard. Like, you know, it's a be all and end all. Like, but if we take it to another level, sexual relationships are what is meant to be conditioned to us to believe is the be all and end all relationship. So just like aromantic asexuals get fed up of you know, romance being the be all and end all of relationships. As a romantic asexual, I get absolutely fed up with people not being able to separate romance and sexual attraction. Like every time a person mentions a sexual relationship or a hetero relationship or a relationship, it's always seen as having sex as part of that. And oh, hi Sam, lots of love to you, thanks for the thumbs up, love you as my best friend. And so, you know, I think it's very, very difficult for both aromantics and romantics, because, you know, people think that you can't have a relationship without sex but still have romance in it. They either see it as you have sex in a relationship, therefore it's a relationship, or you're just friends. Sam, yeah, I get tired of how many people ask why I want a relationship, I won't have sex. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, because aromantics struggle the fact that relationship seems invalidated without it being having romance as part of it, and romantics feel just as invalidated by, you know, being told you can't have a relationship that's of a romantic nature without sex, because then it's just a friendship. So we have the same type of struggle, that we're invalidated and that we're led to believe that relationship has to conform to this certain way, otherwise it's not a relationship. And so we have that, but in the different way. We have it in the opposite way, in the sense that our romantic orientation is being invalidated, just like people have their aromantic orientation being invalidated. So we both struggle with having our orientation invalidated, because either for romantic asexuals we're not having sex, or with aromantic asexuals we're not having romance in a relationship. And it's like, it's a prerequisite that we're taught that we should be having sex, romance in a relationship, and then it's more than a friendship, and then that's what equates to a relationship. And like I've said before on this channel, no one should be deciding what a relationship is other than the two people that are in it, or more if you're polyamorous, of course. You know, and so it isn't up to society to dictate and you to go along with that. It's up to you to put your flag in the ground, your ace or your aromantic, or aromantic and ace flags in the ground, or you're romantic. If you're like me and Sam, romantic, asexual, put your flags in the ground and just stay. This is me, you know? I'm not changing myself to conform to society, you know? And one of the things this person was saying, this aromantic asexual YouTuber, they were also expressing how horrible it was when one of their friends said, oh, if I'm still single in 6 years' time, then maybe I'll marry you. Like, we can't get anyone else. Do you know what I mean? 100% B, thank you, I needed this. Oh, lots of love. It's nice to see you. I was thinking about you the other day. I was thinking I haven't seen you for a little while. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So, you know, I think that's really bad that that person, their so-called friend, said that to them. You know, that basically, oh, in 6 years' time, I'm still single, I'll basically be with you. And I've actually had a guy quite a few years ago now who went on a date with me. And I told him that I didn't like sex in a relationship. We went on the date. It was really strange. We met at the cinema, if I remember right. And then we went for a date. And we went for a date at the History Museum in Exeter. Now, I have been to the History Museum for an asexual meetup, but History Museum is not my favourite thing to do, right? So when this guy asked me on a date to the History Museum, I'm like, it's really not what I would usually go to on a date. It's kind of like one of the worst places I go to for a in my case, meant to be romantic date, you know? It's like, yeah, okay. So basically when I got there, I was like kind of laughing around most of the thing, which I guess some people who like history might find that very disrespectful. And I was very well behaved at the last asexual meetup we went to, and I actually wanted to finish looking at every single thing. Like when I actually do something, like if I'm doing it properly, I like to go through the whole thing, every little bit of it, whereas other people are like, oh, I've seen enough of this museum now, can we go? So, but the time I went with this guy for a date, I just couldn't take it seriously because I was thinking at the time, you've asked me to go to one of the worst places personally for me for a date. Anyway, the whole point of this was after this had finished, we were going to get, I think we went to get some food or something, or I was walking. I remember walking with them and they were like, oh, I can pretend to be your boyfriend. And I was horrified. They didn't want to actually commit to being in a relationship with me. They just thought that because I don't like sex, I think I might have even known I was asexual back then. But, you know, that because I don't want sex, they thought it's okay to be my pretend boyfriend. Like it's going to really help me out somehow. I didn't get that at all. I just found that very disrespectful, very rude. Very horrible. You know, it's like, oh, I'm not, you know, you're not good enough for me to actually be your boyfriend, but you can pretend I'm your boyfriend. 100% beef. Wow, exactly. That's exactly what I would say. It was very wow. And, you know, and so when the Aromantic Asexual said in their video that they had a friend saying that to them, or if I'm like single in 6 years, I'll marry you. You know, I've had similar type of thing where that guy said he'd be my pretend boyfriend. And I've had people on Facebook that literally, you know, like if I'm in dating groups that aren't asexual dating groups, which I'm in some of those as well, you know, when they turn around to me and say, oh, you know, oh, right, well, you'll find it hard to get someone, so I'll be your boyfriend. Like, I'll take any rubbish because I just so desperately want someone and no one else will want me because, like, it's like the implication is you're unlovable if you don't want sex. Therefore, no one else will want you. Therefore, have me. You know what I mean? It's just horrible. It's really horrible. And I think, you know, that's obviously what aromantic asexuals go through and romantic asexuals go through. We both go through these similar type of things. Like if you're not having sex or you're not having romance, then you're completely, you know, just have like the rubbish that's left over because they throw themselves at you going, oh, you can't get any better than me. Here I come. 100% beef. I hate when people say you can't get a partner because you're ace. Yeah, it's horrible. It's really disgusting. You know, and it's what a lot of them jump to the conclusion of when I'm in dating groups on Facebook that aren't asexual. They say stuff like, good luck with that. You know, and they put like laugh out loud or they put ha ha ha, and some of them put like gifs where people are like laughing at you and stuff. You know, I just think it's so damn rude. Luckily, because I've got this community behind me, because I've got asexual in-person friends, you know, Sam's my best friend, we're both asexual. You know, because I've got in-person friends, I've got online friends, and you know, I'm very strong in that, you know, if they say stuff, it's like whatever, just same old. Do you know what I mean? I just let them carry on because they're so predictable. The heterosexuals in there, same here, they just think sex. Yeah. Sam, you know, they're so predictable though. In the sexual dating groups, the majority is so predictable. They say the same things over and over again. Oh, good luck with that. Oh, you know, how are you going to get someone then? And they say all these horrible things, but they're so predictable now that I just know what they're going to come out with before they even say it, and I just ignore them the majority of the time. But occasionally I'll say, well, I have got in-person asexual friends, and actually I've been helping asexuals online for 5 years, so we really do exist. But my friends just aren't compatible with me romantically, and they'll be like, oh, do you know what I mean? Some of them are like, oh, I didn't realise there was others. You know what I mean? It's like some people think I'm joking as well. They go, this is a joke, isn't it? And I'm like, no, it's not a joke. Like, and they go, are you being serious? I'm like, yes, I'm being serious. You know, it's like, I don't laugh when I'm saying that. This is like messaging back in the replies. It's like, yes, I'm being serious. Yes, I don't want sex in a relationship. Yes, I'm asexual. Yes, there are other people like me, you know? And obviously, if there's sexual dating groups on Facebook and they've got thousands of people in them, there's going to be some asexuals mixed in with that, you know, because we're 1% of the population. That's 1 in every 100 people. Eddie, I finally arrived, so rejoice. Nice to see you, Eddie. So, and another thing this aromantic asexual person was saying, they were really struggling when they were doing their YouTube video. And another thing they were saying is that they really get upset and worried about their friends, you know, like getting married, putting a romantic relationship before their friendship, prioritizing the romantic relationship, losing friends when they're in a relationship, you know, and our, you know, asexual romantics have those same feelings as well. You know, we get worried if we, especially if we've got sexual friends, heterosexual friends, that once they're married or once they're having kids or once they are in a serious committed relationship, we're not going to see that friend anymore. We're not going to spend time with that friend anymore as much. We're not going to, you know, we're not going to be in that person's life as much. You know, and, you know, I even get, you know, a bit worried sometimes. I'm like, you know, what if my friends move away? But I have to accept it, you know, like my best female friend who's not asexual, she moved in with her guy last year. And so she moved further away. She does come back and see me, which is really nice. I really appreciate that about her. But, you know, she's already told me that she's probably going to move abroad with her partner, you know, and I don't know if I'll see her ever again in person. I might see her on camera. So the thing is, all these orientations, ace, homo, bi, aro, etc., have always existed, but people are only now able to express them more openly. Yeah, I totally agree, Sam. And I do feel, you know, there is one problem as well, is that, like, by being in minority, you know, like kind of classing ourselves as a minority, we kind of like, yes, it's true, we're a minority, but it's also kind of like we're taking ourselves out of the equation for making us in normality, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of like we're separating ourselves in a way, whereas really we need to actually be getting right in there and saying, this is perfectly valid, we're here, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't seem so strange to heterosexuals. Well, that's part of what I want to do anyway. I want to kind of like, you know, like there's so many nuances to every different type of sexuality. Even heterosexuals, they all have different nuances. And the thing is, there's a lot of people, more and more like definitions going into LGBT plus. But we could just keep going on forever and ever and ever, because there are so many different minorities, because everyone's different. And I just want the world to change in its conditioning. It's conditioning that has caused a lot of issues, you know, with this very specific model that every relationship should involve heterosexuals and should involve sex and romance, you know. And we really kind of need to break that. But by being in a minority, which we are obviously, with other minorities, we're kind of like sectioning ourselves off. And therefore it makes it difficult for sexuals, for example, to relate to us, because we're like kind of saying we're over there. Whereas I hope that we can integrate more with sexuals and they can actually come to understand us a lot better in the future. I would like that a lot. I think it's very, very important, you know, because everyone needs to realise that and accept and talk openly and honestly about sex and relationships. It's just not talked about. I mean, I was doing some research for my asexual client, now later today, and I was just looking at different videos, different articles and everything, and there's, you know, those I came across an article to do with like a couple of articles to do with sexuals, you know, rather than asexuals. And, you know, they were on about thanks, thumbs up, lots of love, and they were on about, you know, the problems with, you know, like sexuals not having sex anymore, losing sexual attraction. And this was like normal heterosexuals. I'm saying normal because nothing's normal, you know? And so, you know, they were all about, oh, we haven't had sex for a month, or we haven't had this, and they were saying all the different reasons, you know? And so there's a lot of people actually that aren't asexual that don't have sex as well, you know? And because they're behind closed doors, because they're not shouting about it in general, then, you know, it's seen as some sort of weird thing not having sex. But actually, there's a lot of people that don't have it, you know? Beef, I never thought about it that way. Thanks. Eddie, a minority. I met one and now I see like it's like so many everywhere. Yeah, Eddie, exactly, you know. I think with the LGBT plus community, the only thing I fear is that by tagging on minority after minority after minority, it's like kind of like saying anyone who's a bit different should be separated. But really, we're all in the same world together. It's just that, unfortunately, we've had mass conditioning put into us. And unfortunately, still the majority of the big mouths out there, the advertisers, the media, the newspapers, the magazines, a lot of them are still very much heterosexual minded. And that's what we really need to break through and say, hey, we can integrate, because really there's just a sexual spectrum and an asexual spectrum and the grey bit in between. That's what there is. And so, you know, the sexual people need to accept all the different people on the different sexual spectrum, just like the asexual people need to accept all the asexual people. And sexuals need to understand the asexual spectrum, and asexuals need to understand the sexual spectrum and the grey area in between, you know. And that's a much more simplistic, true view of what actually is the case, you know, but it's not put in simplistic terms like that. You know, and so I think it's very difficult for sexuals to actually understand themselves as well, let alone us. You know, there's so many sexuals who don't actually tell you the truth about what goes on behind closed doors, you know. And I think that's that there's a quote in my Asexual Perspectives book which just really sums it up nicely, is that for a highly sexualized world, we don't have enough open, honest conversations about sex, you know. And it's entirely true, and that's what a lot of the problem is, you know. Like, talk to sexuals and they might make sex jokes or talk about sex in a really kind of crude way sometimes, but actually have a proper discussion with them and they don't want to know, they're too embarrassed. Like, whenever I bring up sex in an asexual way, it's like, oh, I can't talk about that, that's so embarrassing. But yet if they talk about it just because they're sexuals, it seems like it's okay for them to say in their way. It's very bizarre, absolutely bizarre. We are all wondrous humans looking for what the heart wants. I would totally agree with you. Oh, hi my life, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Actually, I have some stories to read out as well from my iPad, so yeah, so if I can get to them. Oops. Right, so yeah, while I was doing my research, Sam, even some of my exes, I made sure to mention my not having any interest in sex before we started a relationship. And he just assumed at some point I would change my mind, then just drop me when not. I know, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I think both aromantic asexuals and romantic sexuals experience similar types of things. So with, like you say, Sam, when we are romantic and we say we don't want sex in a relationship and we really don't want that, we're not interested in it, you know. Aromantic asexuals say they don't want romance in a relationship, they're not interested in it, unless they're romantic who desires a romantic relationship despite not experiencing romantic attraction, right? But if we just take the pure aromantic asexual, you know, they don't want romance in a relationship, you know. And aromantics get absolutely fed up of telling people, I don't want romance, I don't experience romance, I don't have romantic attraction, and people don't believe them. And that is the same for, you know, like romantic asexuals have a similar problem in the sense that people who are sexual don't believe that we can have a romantic relationship and kiss and cuddle without wanting sex. They think it's impossible. They think it doesn't exist, yet we're here having this conversation. Clearly exists. Eddie, if they cannot respect you, they are not good for you. I totally agree, Eddie. I totally agree. I was gonna see, I came across two lovely actual medias. Oh, my life had a question. On my boyfriend and 1 year anniversary, we made out. French kissing is actually amazing. Woo! It's very amazing, isn't it, my life? Oh my god, it's too amazing. That's coming from a romantic asexual rather than aromantic. Aromantic asexual is probably like, though I was happy, I couldn't physically feel attraction in that moment, but earlier I did. Is that an asing or am I also aro? Your question. When you say attraction, you couldn't physically feel attraction. It depends what type of attraction you mean. So you can feel romantic attraction without feeling any physical attraction when you kiss, because not if you're an asexual, because not all asexuals get aroused. Some of us don't get aroused whatsoever. So yeah, some of us romantics are also French kissing. Yeah, some romantics don't like French kissing. I love French kissing. So for me, for example, my life, if we just take me for example, like I can be romantically attracted to someone, and that like kissing them doesn't decide whether I'm romantically attracted to them or not. But with some guys, for example, I kissed some guys in nightclubs and I experienced no, because obviously I don't experience sexual attraction. I experienced no arousal for them, like when they were kissing me. But then I've been in situations where I've been in my own home kissing a guy where I've been physically close, like, I'm going to be very blunt now, like through clothes, genitals were touching, like, like I would be, sat on top of it, for example, laying on top of him, snogging him, right? So we're really close body contact, and then I usually do get aroused like that. But some aromantic asexuals, they don't get aroused, and some, like, not necessarily all romantic asexuals feel arousal either. So I would have to ask you, when you said feel attraction, it depends what you mean. Since I have OCPD, one of the things I have is intimacy avoidance, but I don't think that's it. Are sexual things romantic turn-offs for some aces? I don't know, it's confusing because I don't mind it and I'm happy with it. But like, yeah, so basically, you have to set boundaries, because, if a sexual person does too much sexual stuff with you when kissing, it can turn you off. Like, you can feel like it's too much violation of your body because they're doing touching you don't want. It doesn't feel good. It feels gross. So it's very difficult to assess. I wasn't uncomfortable. That's the thing. Right. Okay. So I think like, did you still feel romance for him? Like, were you still romantically attracted to him? I'm guessing if you liked it, then you probably were. But I do know a few aromantic that are actually in relationships with people who are not aromantic, and they do actually still do romantic things despite not experiencing romantic attraction, because they're not romance repulsed. So it depends what you're talking about when you said you can physically feel attraction. Attraction is like, it depends what type of attraction. Like romantic attraction is when you feel you want to kiss, cuddle, touch, hold hands with the person, and you feel like very bonded and deeply like emotionally bonded, emotionally connected to them. You feel a deep sense of kind of warmth with them. Sometimes I can't feel emotions physically in some situations, but I don't know if it's that or if it's because I'm ace. I mean, obviously, you're not going to experience sexual attraction because you're asexual. So it doesn't matter how much he does whatever he's doing, you're not going to experience sexual attraction. If that's what you're asking about sexual attraction, yes, it would be because you're asexual. Like, I don't experience sexual attraction. I can kiss the guy for 3 hours, French kiss him, very bodies intertwined with clothes on, very, very close, very intimate. If I was sexual, I definitely experience sexual attraction. Because I'm asexual, I don't experience any sexual attraction. So it doesn't matter how much he's like on top of me, I'm on top of him, snogging him, my legs are intertwined, I'm sat on his bit or whatever, I'm in between his legs, like my back's, his bit is pressing against my back, his penis basically, it doesn't matter if my bum's in his penis, like my bum is going woo like that and in between his legs, I don't experience sexual attraction, and that is because I'm asexual. Sometimes I can't. Yeah. So if you are saying, like, asking the question, like, do you if you don't experience any attraction, if you're talking about sexual attraction, then yes, that would be because you're asexual. You're aromantic if you don't experience any romantic attraction to that person. Obviously, you're aromantic, asexual if you don't experience any romantic attraction or sexual attraction towards a person. So it depends. When you say couldn't physically feel attraction, then I don't experience physical romantic attraction in that moment. Yeah, I was comfortable and I was happy, but physically felt empty for some reason. Yeah, I mean, when I was kissing the guy in the club, which was the Indian guy, for an hour, I felt like down below, like the rest of my body was a wooden clog. Like there was no, but I still felt romance, as in the whole, as in the setting was lovely. Like the kissing felt great, and it felt like a romantic movie. So I guess you'd have to, like, it depends on how you define romance. Um, because romantic attraction isn't really physical. Romantic attraction is, I've actually got a definition of intimacy here, which I took on my iPad. Let me, because, right, let me find it. I think I've still got it. Right, this is right. So, right, okay. So, right. So, intimacy and passion, right? So, intimacy refers to feelings of closeness, connectedness, and bondedness in loving relationships. It thus includes within its purview those feelings that give rise essentially to the experience of warmth in a loving relationship. This is intimacy, right? Passion. Passion refers to the drives that lead to romance, physical attraction, sensual consummation, sex, and related phenomena in loving relationships. The passion component includes with its purview those sources of motivational and other forms of arousal that lead to the experience of passion in a loving relationship. So that's the difference between intimacy and passion. But you can be romantically attracted to someone, and when you kiss them, it's not necessarily the right person for you. Like, I've been romantically attracted to a guy, kissed him, and I felt like I should just be his friend, like I shouldn't be his girlfriend. Could it just be my body was confused, but I wasn't? The body, mind, and soul are different, and there's times I physically feel depressed, but my brain says I'm happy. I think you have to assess. My body and my mind don't always line up. Well, with an asexual person, right? Your body, if you experience arousal but no sexual attraction, like your body's got a mind of its own. Do you know what I mean? So, for example, like if I'm kissing a guy, French kissing him, and my body is getting really, really aroused, which doesn't, it wasn't happening in the clubs. It's only happening when I'm like in private. Then if I'm passionately kissing him and I'm getting aroused, it's like my body might actually physically hurt because it's not actually having sex, because it's not actually doing full sexual stuff or other sexual release stuff like touching and stuff. So it might be like anticipating that might happen, but my brain is like, I don't want that, because I don't want sex and I don't feel like I want this person to touch me that intimately because it doesn't feel comfortable to me. So with an asexual person, your brain can work differently to your body anyway, because your body can kind of like feel the sensations of arousal and even like urges for like to kind of do something, but you don't want to do it. It's kind of like going nowhere, but it's got a mind of its own. So sometimes I've had a lot of pain down there because I have felt like really, really, really high levels of arousal, but I don't want sex. But my body's aching for some sort of release, if you know what I mean. And so, but in my mind, I never want sex. Like I can look at a guy, I can think he's hot, I can think he's stunningly beautiful, I think he's absolutely gorgeous, but I don't want sex with him. But like if it's the first time you French kiss the guy, it's gonna be, you've been together for years, it's the first time you French kissed him, so it's gonna be kind of a strange experience for you anyway. You might have to give yourself some time because you've jumped from like not doing that to being very, very intimate. And so sometimes it can take time, to reflect on that, like especially if it was very, very fast, very like a lot at once, it can make you feel kind of strange. Like you have to assess where you really enjoyed it, how much you enjoyed it, what you like, and you really need to put boundaries in place, like how much you want to do, how much you don't want to do. If you liked it, what you didn't like, you should be talking to your partner about what you liked, what you didn't like. You know, I mean, obviously, if you don't feel romance usually, then you don't really want to be kissing usually, because kissing the majority of the time in that type of scenario, the passionate French kissing, is something you'd want to do with someone you feel romance for. If you don't feel romance for that person, you'd probably be turned off and feel like, I should just be friends with this person. I shouldn't be actually in a relationship with them because it doesn't feel right. It feels like they should be my friend only. I hope that makes sense. It's very difficult for me to completely assess it because obviously it depends what type of attraction you're talking about. I have some kind of disconnect with my body. Yeah, I mean, some asexuals, they actually experience a disconnection from a sexual target as well. So, for example, you know, they will feel like some asexuals do actually experience sexual attraction, but they don't associate with a specific person, or well, most asexuals don't associate with a specific person in terms of like arousal. But we're talking about sexual attraction. They don't they could be attracted to someone, but they don't see themselves having sex with that person, or it's very difficult to explain, but they don't see they desire, they might have sexual attraction, they might think about having sex, but they don't actually associate it with them. There's a disconnect between them. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. Sexuality is complicated. Yeah, my life, it's very complicated, you know. I think you'd have to really go into it with someone in depth, because I can't tell you specifically from just the information you've given me, because when you said you couldn't physically feel attraction, you know, like, you're not going to experience sexual attraction as an asexual person anyway. You know, you might not feel arousal because you're asexual and your body just doesn't work that way, however much you like the actual art of kissing, or not as other people, some other people don't. And then, but you've got to assess where it's romance, you know, the lack of physical attraction was, wasn't talking about sexual attraction. So when you're not talking about sexual attraction, romantic attraction isn't really a physical thing. Romantic attraction isn't a physical thing. It's a feeling you get to want to do physical things, but it isn't the physical thing itself, if that makes sense. Like I am a hyper romantic. I want to do romantic things. So I want to kiss, I want to cuddle, I want to hold hands, I want to feel close to that person physically, emotionally, mentally. I want to like treat them as my bestest friend. I want to be intimate in thoughts with them, in spirituality with them, intimate in my life with them, sharing secrets, goals, ambitions, and dreams, all that type of thing. You know, that's part of like the romance, is wanting to be physically close and kissing, cuddling, but it's not actually physical attraction. Like physical attraction, or how I term it, physical attraction, is like arousal or sexual attraction. That's like physical attraction, like you're attracted to the person's specific body, if you know what I mean. Or with arousal, your genitals doing some sort of stuff, you know, that can be like attracted to what they're doing to you physically or mentally or emotionally. Romantic attraction, I physically feel, is in my heart. I made a chart on physical attraction. Right, so if you feel romantic attraction, you physically feel it in your heart. Yeah, I agree that it is physically in your heart. So basically, you're just trying to say that. So from what you said, is that you didn't feel that physical. So you didn't feel romantic attraction. You're saying that, if that's how you're defining it. Is that true? Because you said physically you felt empty. Maybe that's, you can realize that the person you're with is not the right person for you, but I don't want to say that to you. It's just a possibility, because sometimes I still had the emotion but didn't feel it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you need to just reflect on it and give yourself time. I think the first time of kissing someone can be very like, it can be very, like, it depends how it was. It can be very confusing. It can be very lovely. It can be very interesting. It can make you reflect on things. But I mean, I've kissed some guys and I haven't felt the same way about them because they weren't the right guy for me in the end. They meant to be just my friend. They didn't feel right. When I kissed them, they felt like I was kissing a friend and I shouldn't be doing that with them. But, you know, if it's the first time you've done it, it might have just been strange for you. It could be related to my nervous system being basically broken. Yeah, I know you've got quite a few like complications, haven't you? I mean, I would talk to a counsellor maybe about it, or someone, you know, that's going to spend some time with you on it, because I think here I can't really give you I mean, I do coaching, but obviously, you know, I charge for that because I don't do free one-to-one consultations. But you know, I think you'd need someone to actually go through and spend time with you on this subject. I don't think it's something that I could actually give you a clear answer for in a few minutes on a YouTube show, because, you know, I just couldn't do that. I'd have to know the scenario, what happened, how you were feeling before, all this something. So yeah, yeah, I don't want to like say, because obviously if you feel the romantic attraction you physically feel is in your heart, I would agree that romantic attraction is in your heart, but your heart isn't the same as all your body, for example. Do you know what I mean? But if you're saying that you didn't feel that, then that would indicate that you didn't feel romantic attraction for the person when you kissed them. And some people kiss someone and they find out they're not the right person for them. You know, I've been romantically attracted to someone, kissed them, and felt I'm not romantically attracted to you anymore. I feel like we should just be mates. And that's what I've had to have been, and stop the relationship. But I think you need to give yourself some time to assess it. I think obviously you know yourself better than anyone. I don't think you should hide your fears. I don't think you should not I mean, you're aware of them, which I think is good. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's good to hide the feelings. I think it's really important for you to be aware of them. You know, from what you said, that you didn't experience romantic attraction when you were kissing him. So, but if you felt romantic attraction before you were kissing him, then that would need, you know, like deep reflection, I think, you know, to assess whether you are aromantic, asexual. But if you experience romantic attraction anyway, it's just when you kissed him, you didn't, then it could be the person is more like a friend to you than an actual intimate partner person. But you might want to try it again, see if you feel the same, and assess it then rather than just the once. Because, you know, like, especially if you haven't done that before and you've been with someone a year, it's almost like meeting someone for the first time in a new place that neither of you've been to, and it can kind of feel quite weird and strange. It's like we're in different surroundings. You can feel kind of nervous, maybe a little bit unsafe or unsure, because it's kind of like new territory. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I would say to you. I'd say you need to bear that in mind. And you know how you feel. I mean, do you want to kiss him again? Do you like to kiss him again? Or did you feel like you should just be his friend? In reality, you might have solved it. I think that you have to take your time. I think you have to take your time. Like I said, there are so many. You solved it. Okay, that's great. Is that, if you want to share it with the people, you're welcome to share it. But I think, you know, it's good to reflect. It's your ADHD. Well, my ex had ADHD. That didn't happen with him. But I'll just let you know that I was with him. It's a guy I was with for 8.5 years. I'll just let you know that. He was diagnosed with ADHD, he had it for years, and he had it as an adult as well. So I was with him for 8.5 years. But yeah, I mean, I just think I know with ADHD is on the autistic spectrum, so I think it affects people differently. And the person who interviewed me, who was a sex coach, she actually specialises in ADHD. That's what she does as her sex coach. Well, she's a sex coach, but she's been an ADHD specialist, like therapist for years. That's what she does. And so, people who have ADHD can feel different in relationships. But I was with an ADHD person for 8.5 years and it didn't affect his intimacy at all. With my ADHD, if my brain gets overstimulated, my body shuts off. Yeah, that's good that you know that. That's good that you know that. If you think that it does that with parties and pep rallies too, and conventions. But was the kissing a brain thing? Was it affecting your brain? Because you said if your brain gets overstimulated, your body shuts off, which was, I would have thought it would be your body that was getting stimulated and your brain that cut off. The opposite way, wouldn't it be? If you didn't feel the same way anymore? I think it's good that you've reflected. I think you need to give yourself some time. I think everyone needs time. I think, like I said before on this channel, asexuality is a journey of discovery, and there's no two ways to be asexual, and you need to take your time. I've known people who were biromantic who then decided they were homoromantic. I know guys who were into girls and now they're into guys. I know people who identify differently years ago I knew a lesbian who married a bloke in the end that she didn't even like in the beginning, and they had a baby together. So I think that people can discover new things about themselves that they never realized before. I think sexuality is very complicated. I think that you have to give yourself time, and you have to, any new experience, you have to assess. Sometimes you might just know something's not right. Like I've known before in the past with certain guys I've kissed that I'm not meant to be their girlfriend. They're not meant to be intimate with me. It feels wrong, And from what I've heard of the Aromantic videos I watched today, the ones that are romance repulsed, that's how they feel. When they kiss someone, they feel like, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing this. It feels wrong. I feel like we should just be friends. Because they have romance, some aromantic asexuals have romance repulsion and they just feel trapped if they're in a relationship with a romantic person. They feel like they can't be themselves because they don't experience romance and the romantic person doesn't understand them. The romantic person still wants romantic gestures, romantic things, and the aromantics are thinking, this isn't me, I'm not being myself, So I think you have to give yourself time to work out how it is. I can tell just by kissing a guy once if there's any chance that I should be in a relationship with him, any chance at all. Because if I just feel like, oh no, that person, I just feel like I should be his friend, because it just doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm kissing a friend, which kind of feels a bit gross, because it's kind of like, it's not how it's meant to be. I'm not meant to feel this way. It feels weird. Like kissing a friend in the mouth, it's like, ugh. No, I would never want to kiss my friends in the mouth. His tongue tasted good, laugh out loud. Probably TMI. I really love tongue kissing. I really love tongue kissing. But I was very surprised the fact that I don't get aroused in clubs when kissing, because I think from memory that might not have always been the case. It felt very weird to kiss the Indian guy for an hour or more on the dance floor but feel no arousal whatsoever. Zilch, diddly squat, nothing. And for someone who experiences high levels of arousal like myself, I would have thought that wouldn't be the case ever. So I don't know if I've changed like that. It does make me question myself, like, have you really changed, Sandra? Maybe you're not experiencing arousal as much as you used to. Or is it just because it's in the nightclub scenario where you don't want to be in that position, and because he's not allowed to touch certain places, which would usually make me aroused, which is probably what it's like. But it was very weird because it was like, it was just literally enjoying the kissing, the art of kissing, with no physical feelings involved of arousal or any attraction like that whatsoever. It was very bizarre. I remember it just feeling like a wooden clog. It was like there's no arousal there. There's nothing. And I'm not used to that usually. Like if I'm kissing a guy for a very long time, I'm used to something. Like with the Bangladesh guy who was no good for me, and I did feel something with him when I was kissing him. I felt like an overwhelming like energy. But when I was kissing the Indian guy, who I was like my dream because I wanted to kiss an Indian guy, I felt nothing really in my body physically. It was just all centered on the kissing. So I really would prefer to be with a person, I think, who I was both kissing and some sort of physical attraction to at the same time. Because I did have that with the Bangladesh guy. I remember when I was around the Bangladesh guy, I could feel his sexual energy for me, and I could feel chemistry with me and him physically, even though I don't want sex. Whereas with the Indian guy, I was so romanced up because I loved the whole scenario and I loved him kissing me, and I knew that I felt safer around him because he was better for me, even though I don't really know him. And I just enjoyed the kissing, but there was no physical feeling there whatsoever. I got some adorable news. Go for it, my life. What's the adorable news? Did he bring you a rose afterwards? But I'm glad you like kissing. There's not many people like my best friend Sam, who's in this chat. Sam doesn't like tongue kissing. They're like, oh, it's so gross. And I love tongue kissing. I have to get a person that's as interested in tongue kissing as I am, because it just wouldn't work. My life. I asked my boyfriend who the most handsome prince was, and he showed a pic of Disney princess, and he said, I am. Ah, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. That's very nice. Very nice. Very romantic, that is, yeah. So, but I love tongue kissing. It's very difficult, I think, if you do love tongue kissing, if you're with a, you know, like if you're trying to get into a relationship, because it's like I need to be with a guy who will do that. There was a question in one of the dating groups I'm in, which is for entrepreneurs, but not you know, I think am I the only asexual in there, entrepreneur? I think there might be two more in that group, actually, when I first went in it, on the spectrum. And, you know, they were asking about, oh, if someone doesn't show you physical affection in a relationship, like, how do you feel? Or is physical affection, like, you know, like, is public displays of affection a necessity in a relationship or something? And I'm like, yes. My life. I love French kissing. You were right about them. I don't know why I was against it before. Oh, thank you, my life. Woo! Woo! At least I got someone who understands me. Thank you, my life. Sam, that's really lovely about the Disney princess. Definitely not into tongue kissing. Yeah. I'm really glad that you do like tongue kissing, my life, because people don't understand it. But you know, like if you get the wrong type of person that's no good at it, they're just like, then of course it's not going to be nice. You have to train them up. Or unless you've got someone who's good at it in the first place, it should be strong but not horrible, strong but not forceful, controlled kissing. Not like a soggy lemon or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a really good art to it. But I usually end up taking over the guy's mouth if he's not doing it right. It's like, what? I'm the man? I'm like, you might be the man, but I'm showing you how it's done, then you can carry on. Do you know what I mean? It just naturally happened, and I was like, wait, oh my God, this is what it's like. Yeah, I think it's nicer when it just happens. And you're not expecting it, because like before I was the same. Like I used to think years ago, tongue kissing, that's weird. Why would I want someone else's tongue in my mouth? That's kind of gross. But when my ex started doing that to me, I was like, okay, this is a bit weird. And then when he carried on, I'm like, oh, I really like this. Sam, no tongues in my mouth except mine. Cuddles rock and light kisses. Oh, bless you. I know there was in the public displays of affection, they were asking like, and the woman who's a sex coach, she was on about, I just like light and gentle kisses, but she loves sex. And it's like, and I'm the one who doesn't like sex, and I'm there going, no, I have to have like kissing. Like I said, I have to have lots of public displays of affection. You know, it's a deal breaker for me. I will not be with a guy who does not hold my hand in public, who does not kiss me in public, and I need lots of it. So I really need to find a compatible guy like that that's so into kissing that he just loves it as much as me. I wonder what information our bodies pass to each other. I know I'm weird. I'm a science nerd. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, science nerd. FTW. Yeah, I mean, obviously molecules mix anyway. Whoever you're around, even if you're walking out in the street, your molecules mix with the other person. But yeah, I mean, because obviously I've got my new channel that I have actually set up now, but I haven't done the channel trade. I'm doing this weekend, which is erogenicity, and the mouth is one of the most erogenous parts of the whole body. The tongue, there's so many like little nerve endings on the tongue and even in the mouth, you know. So the mouth is one of the most erogenous zones you can ever have in the whole entire body, and it's got lots of little nerve endings and stuff, which is what makes it feel really nice, if you're into that. My life, I found out he might be my partner from my past life. Oh wow, that's nice. My life. Yeah, my partner's Indian. I wish he'd get his butt here now. I honestly think I knew my Indian guy in a past life, but I haven't met him in this one yet, as far as I know. But yes, that'd be nice if he is. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, that'd be really nice. Yeah, it's really nice that you're drawn back together again. Really good. Really good. Yeah, and it's good now that you've assessed that you know what the problem was, your ADHD. So you've done good. Congratulations. Oh yeah, and your anniversary. Congratulations. It was last month, wasn't it? August. Wasn't it August last month? We're in September now. Happy anniversary to you both. Belated happy anniversary to you both. That was great. What did you do on your anniversary? I haven't asked you yet. Yeah, what did you do on it? Did you go out on your anniversary, or did you like, was you kissing on your anniversary date? Is that what you were doing? Kissing on your anniversary date? Oh man, I haven't kissed for ages. Like, we can't go in clubs in the UK because they're still shut. So I don't know when the next time I'll be able to kiss, but I'm just like thinking about other things at the moment and plowing all my energies into projects and I've got to finish the Asexual Guide to Sex book. That's like one of my top priorities at the moment for the rest of like this month and next. My life, we exchanged gifts, which I showed in a video on my channel. We had dinner, we cuddled and made out all at his house. Oh, very nice. That's nice. I think, yeah, it's really nice that you did that. I mean, not all asexuals like making out, but I mean, I don't actually like, I think I prefer kissing to the full making out. Like, the word making out usually means that you touch each other's breasts and bits. Like, and I'm not really into that anymore. So I'm into like the full-on snogging with clothes on, but exciting non-binary news. Sam's non-binary as well. Is that exciting news that Sam's non-binary as well? But yes, tell us the exciting non-binary news. We all love to hear it. So it's really important. Next time I go over, his mum is a hairdresser. It's going to cut my hair to look how I want. This is really good. This is really good, my life. Well, Sam has been growing their hair longer because they don't want to look too masculine. They prefer to look a bit feminine, don't you, Sam? So Sam has got nice longer locks now, not as long as mine, obviously. Longer locks. So I think it's really good. Yes. Yeah, just need some colour. Yeah, Sam wants to put highlights back in their hair. So yeah, I've never dyed my hair in my life. Like, some people are asking me like on the channel and comments, like, is that your real hair? It's like, yes, it's 100% my real hair. I do not have any dye. I've never used dye in my hair. It's all natural. Like, all natural. Like, when I was in primary school, my hair used to be nearly white. Nearly pure white. My granddad's hair was white. So if I ever do end up getting white hair, then I'll just go back to the way I was when I was like 10 years old. It was almost pure white. It was just a bit off-white. So I'm like, yeah, if I ever end up getting white hair, I'll just look good with it, because that's actually how I looked originally when I was like at primary school. Sam, my aunt will see me for the first time in 6 months tomorrow. She'll think I've become a sheep. Oh, you're seeing her today, aren't you? Thursday. It's Thursday. You're seeing her later today, aren't you? Yes, it's so good, Sam. Yeah, me and Sam saw each other for the first time in person on Sunday, and Sam's going to see their aunt for the very first time. Yeah, you forgot it got midnight. Yeah, it's just 2:37. I'm so happy for you, Sam. I hope you have a lovely time with your aunt. It's very important. You know, I know that when I was watching that person, My Life, I'm working on getting a job. That's good. This is good. I like all the positivity in tonight's stream and the working out of things. It's very good. Sam, can't wait. She's one of my closest family members. That's really, really good. Yeah, I hope you get get a job, My Life. I think it'll be really good. I think you have done a lot in the last year, haven't you? You should be very proud of yourself at how far you've come. You know, you've had a relationship for a whole year. It's amazing. Done really well. Should be very proud of yourself. Very proud. I know you developed yourself and grown yourself as a person a lot too. So yeah, it's very important, you know, that we keep growing and developing, and we keep learning about ourselves, you know. Like, I don't think it's good to put yourself into a tight little box unless you want to and think it's the right box for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many nuances to sexuality and even to asexuality that I think it's very difficult to actually, you know, like, you can't really force yourself to be someone you're not, you know. You have to accept everything about yourself. My Life's got some cute romantic news. I thought I was already cute romantic. My boyfriend and I are planning to go shopping together. Oh, this is cute. Yeah, it's very cute. Very cute. So you still got romantic attraction going on, see? That's very, very cute. Very cute, My Life. Very, very cute. Yes, you still have romantic attraction going on. It's very cute. Very, very cute. Yeah. I personally think I'm going to be single for quite a lot of years to come. I think my Indian guy will show up later on in my life. I got Indian guy friends. I keep getting friend requested by so many Indian guys on Facebook. They're all like, don't even bother speaking to me usually, and they're mostly in foreign countries. And it's like, you're not even going to message me, but I think a lot of them wanting me for business or whatever. But I had one guy the other day, last night, and he was like, I said, oh, why have you friend requested me? He goes, oh, to be friends or maybe more. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, maybe more. You know what the maybe more means, don't you? I said to him, I said, I'm asexual. I'm not interested in a long distance relationship, and I'm asexual. I don't like sex. He goes, oh, and I said, I won't be having I'm not interested in a long distance relationship with you. And he goes, oh, I didn't say about relationship. I just said maybe more. I said, yeah, maybe more means sex. I know what it means. I said, I'm not interested. He goes, oh, okay. My Life. The pandemic is causing me to be cuddle starved. I crave cuddles. Sam. Same here, My Life. Very much so. My Life. Ace Queen, you drop this. Bless. Yeah. I think it's very yeah, I think, like you say, that yeah, you feel cuddle starved. Well, I hope your boyfriend was cuddling you, not just kissing you. You know what I mean? It's important to make sure that he's giving you other intimate affection. You know, cuddling's very important. Oh, you cuddled too, that's great. Yeah, it's really important, you know, because I was reading these articles which aren't from well, there was a couple of there was some paragraphs about asexuality in there, which was really good. And it was saying one of the people, you know, like heterosexuals, you know, they lose the will to even want sex. Not that we're interested in sex, but they lose the will to want sex if then their partner's not intimate with them in other ways. And I think that works, you know, like if they're not gonna hold their hand or touch them or kiss them and cuddle them. And I think that's the same for like our asexuals in terms of who want romance. You know, if we don't get like you know, like holding hands and cuddling and other things, we just kind of feel used for being physical, even if it's not sex. I know I certainly do. Like I've had guys who've just messaged me who are asexual, and all they've been interested in me is how it's basically how I like to kiss, because they just get aroused by that. As soon as I stop talking about that, they're not interested in speaking to me anymore. It's like, what? This is ridiculous. Like heterosexuals use some people for, you know, like physical pleasure, and basically asexuals, some of those asexuals are just doing the same with me. My life, I just want cuddles every day, and I can't see him every day. We're both ready to live with each other, but we can't yet because we need jobs. That's nice. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's harder at the moment, isn't it? To get some types of jobs, and other jobs are easier. I think if you're in a supermarket, you know, like a place that sells food, you're good to go, because obviously the world needs food and toiletries, you know, like the shops that are selling goods that are crucial to the pandemic. You know, that type of industry is a lot more. Sam, I wish you both all the luck with jobs in the future. Yeah, definitely good luck. I think it's good that, you know, you're ready to live with each other. Really, really nice. Yeah, I think, you know, everything's good in the world, really, isn't it? Like when you look at it from a different perspective, I think it's good. I think life is very, very good. I was going to see if I could find these stories, or maybe I'll leave that for another time. There was some stories that actually had asexuality in them. Oh, I'll read this one. If it's, I thought it was really sweet. So, right. So yeah, this was about you know, like relationships where they're not having sex, and this was an article from Insider website, and it was like the reason people don't have sex in a relationship, and it was mentioned as number 5, being asexual makes it so that sex isn't the main point of a relationship. And I thought that was really nice they put that in there. And so it says sex isn't vital for everyone. And this was a person that was sharing their personal story. Since I'm asexual, I've never been sexually attracted to any of my significant others. I've had my fair share of relationships that eventually ran their course for a variety of reasons, not always because of sexual compatibility issues. I'm currently married to an amazing guy. I'm not sexually attracted to him per usual for me, but things are absolutely perfect between us. We've been together for 6 years now, and things are only getting better. He's perfectly content having sex maybe once a month. It's often enough that he's satisfied, but infrequent enough that I don't mind it. He's never pushy about sex like some guys I've dated, never tries to guilt me or pressurize me into things, and has proven on several occasions that if I don't feel up to it or I need to stop halfway through, there are no hard feelings whatsoever. And I do think that's very, very important, you know, like if you are aromantic, asexual, who is going to try a relationship, I think it's very important that you know your boundaries, that you set them up before you get into a relationship. If you do want a relationship, many aromantics don't, they feel trapped in them. If you do, that you tell the person up front you don't experience romantic attraction. This is what a relationship would look like to you, so the person knows exactly where they stand, you know. And that, you know, like, you know, maybe you don't want to do any romantic things with them, or if you're not romance repulsed, maybe you do. You know, it's always important to have high communication levels in any type of relationship. Similarly, if you're asexual, you know, you need to decide whether you are, you know, like if you're sex repulsed and never want sex, you need to be very clear and upfront about that with the person. You know, some sexuals can be in a relationship with an asexual without sex ever. They're fewer and far between, but they can happen. Like Eddie was in the chat earlier, and he is in a relationship with an asexual girl despite not being asexual himself, and it's going really well. They've been together for over 2 years. My life, I want to wake up to see his face in the morning and then give kisses, and we make breakfast together and feed the dog and the cat and then plan the day together. I think that sounds really nice. My life, I think it sounds very, very nice. Very, very nice. It sounds really good. Really, really good. So I thought this was a really good story. As well, I thought it was nice that they included asexuality in this story. And they also included it in another article as well, which I was really, really pleased about. I'm just going to find it. Right, yes. Ha ha ha. So this was, again, an article inside a website that was saying basically about why these people aren't having sex in the relationship. And this was saying part of the couple is asexual. This was a really positive article I want to share with you. Not all relationships need to involve sex to be healthy. Whoop, whoop. Can I get a whoop, whoop for that? You know, so many articles are promoting you have to have sex in order to have a happy, healthy, loving relationship, which, as we know, is a load of rubbish. So, you know, not all relationships need to involve sex to be healthy. This is from Insider, right? So this is really, really, really nice. I thought it was really good. And they said, listen to this, I am dating an asexual person and I am not asexual. It can be a bit confusing at times, but there is so much more to a relationship than sex. I couldn't imagine losing such an amazing package of a girl just because we don't have sex. So this is a person who is with an asexual who doesn't have sex, and they feel that they're getting such a good deal with everything that comes with that person, all, you know, the whole package. In other words, you know, the character traits, the personality, the person, basically, you know, that they wouldn't want to lose them, that, you know, it doesn't matter they're not having sex because a person is worth being in a relationship with without sex. And I thought that was very, very empowering. I wish more sexual people would feel that way and would see the beauty of asexuals, you know, and the beauty that, you know, that we can live, love, be happy and healthy in relationships without sex ever. It's very important. My life, I love a good love story, especially real ones. Yay. I'm big on romance and cuteness. Yeah, so am I, my life. My mum won't leave me alone about the fact I'm asexual and he's not a JW, and she thinks I am, because can't wait to leave that cult. And she did something I will never forgive her for, especially because she promised she wouldn't. Oh, well, I'm really sorry to hear that. She was speaking disrespectfully about him and judging him. It's not nice. She'll lose you in the end. That's the problem. If she carries on doing that, she's just pushing you away. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like you're going to really want to be around her if she's just being rude about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, does she know you're asexual now then? I don't know that she knew. I wasn't clear that she knew you're asexual before. Or did she know you're asexual, but she just didn't know that you are? Yeah, I wasn't sure that she knew you were asexual. But yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Like, some parents, they just don't accept their kids want different things to them. But, you know, you have to follow your own path in life. I would say this about anything, you know, whether it's career or, you know, like moving, where you live, who you see and date. It's entirely up to you, you know. It's not their life, it's your life. Or in your case, my life, it's my life. She knew already because I told her. She doesn't know the grey pan and MB part R. Yeah, like Sam says, sorry to hear that. It's your life, not hers. And it's really, really important, you know? It's really important. You know, at the end of the day, you should always follow your own path in life. It won't be popular. Following your own path is not popular, but you don't want to look back on your deathbed and regret the fact that you didn't do what you want to do in life because you were just too worried about what your parents thought or relatives thought or friends thought, you know, any part of your family thought. It's just ridiculous. So many people, they're just like living in fear their whole life. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that because my mum says this, my dad says that, my granny says this, my cousin says that, and it's just like you don't live your life. And then they all are no longer here, And then you're on your deathbed in the end going, well, what did I do with my life? Because I just listened to everyone else and I didn't listen to myself, you know? Like, I just go my own way in life. You know, I'm happier. I'm happier just to be left alone, do my own thing. You know, when I say left alone, I still need my friends. But anyone who doesn't, you know, like agree with what I'm doing or whatever, it's just like, well, it's my life. It's not yours. I'm happy. What does it matter? You know, someone who cares about you and genuinely loves you and wants you to be happy should just be happy that you're happy. Yeah, Sam, I followed other paths for years, but now I'm building my own path. You're doing really well, Sam. My life. After last night, I no longer cared about the fact she'll shun me after I leave the cult and come out the closet. I still love her because she was my mum, but she isn't a true mother. Yeah, I think you just have to, you know, I mean, part of it's from a weird sense of parental love, which is kind of like a very love in a kind of weird way that's not necessarily a good love. Doesn't mean to say they're really evil or horrible. It's just that they think they know what's best for you. But it's very negative, impacting your life. And, you know, you can still love her, just, you know, she's just going to have to accept that you're going on your own path, whether she likes it or not, you know. And it's just going to be the way it is, you know. And I think it's good that, you know, she's still your mum. Like, I love my parents to bits, but we don't always agree on things. I absolutely love my parents, you know, but we're very different in some ways. We don't, you know, my parents don't even do public displays of affection. You know what I'm like. I love public displays of affection. Sam, I understand that my granddad is a JW and doesn't speak to me. I only have contact with a few of my family. They are generally the supportive ones. My life. My friend Kenzie is getting married soon. I'm happy for her, but she went back on a promise we made in middle school. We promised to be each other's bridesmaids. She won't let me because I'm not dating. Oh, because you're not dating a JW. Well, like Sam says, pretty much they're not really your true friends, are they? Do you know what I mean? Like Sam, you know, one person won't speak to Sam because of Jada. She broke a promise. I understand it's mostly because of the cult, not her personally. Yeah, I'm really sorry, my life. It can really hurt, you know. I know, it's really, especially when it's a close friend as well, you know. But, you know, like Sam says, they only have contact with a few of their family that generally supportive ones. I mean, the problem is with families, it's very difficult because you can love them with all your heart, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say they live up to your expectations. And also, like, you know, I personally don't want to ever break promises, but people, like you say, it's not really her, it's because of the cult, you know. You know, I mean, it's people. People give a lot to religion and things as well. You know, like people are ruled by religion, and it's like religion dictates their whole life. Or in the case of JW, things they don't believe, I guess, and things they do believe in other ways. You know, and so I'm really sorry about that. You know, are you going to the wedding still? Is she still inviting you, but just not as a bridesmaid, or is she not wanting you there at all? Because I think it'd be a bit sad if she didn't want you there at all, you know. But I'm glad that you're going to get out of that type of life. You know, you're going to have a really good life for yourself. It's really important, you know. I think, Sam, I only have a small amount of people in my life nowadays and feel less alone now than when there were hundreds of people in my life. Yeah, I agree with you, Sam, on that as well. You know, like I have quite a lot of online people, but I only have really close friends. Like Sam's my best friend. My life, I'm going to it. And when I leave the cult, I'm going to send her an invite to be my maid when I get married. Oh, that's very sweet. To show one of us didn't break the promise. Is she going to accept or not if your boyfriend's not? Or is she going to get funny with you about that, saying, well, I'm not going to be a bridesmaid because he's not this and the other? Probably not. Yeah. I think you have to do what makes you happy, you know, and also like what makes your boyfriend happy. You know, it's important you're both happy on your special day, you know, because at the end of the day, she was the one who broke the promise in the first place. So, you know, if you still feel like you want her as a bridesmaid, go ahead. But if you change your mind now because she broke a promise in the first place, you do have a right to change your mind. Do you know what I mean? Because you only get married once. I'm also going to send checks to help mum with bills after I move out. That's really nice, my life. I'm glad you love your mum. I mean, I love my parents implicitly. I really do. You know, I'm an only child. And I'll always love them implicitly. I adore my parents, you know, a lot. I love them so much. But it's difficult if you don't always see eye to eye on stuff, you know? Like, you know, like I just like looking after myself really and being with my friends, you know? And I like having positive to supportive people in my life. People who understand me, it's really important. JW's paint apostate as being rude and evil act. Yet we actually are just loving and kind and care about everyone. I don't know what apostates is. I don't know what apostates is. Am I meant to know what apostates is? I don't know what apostates is. But yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't really do any research about that type of thing. I don't really get involved. Apostates are people that deny the religion, go against it, or have left it. Ah, right, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Sam, I'm glad my dad and I have a good relationship now, as it was difficult for years. Things can improve with time. Yeah, yeah, Sam, you do, don't you? Have a really, really, really good relationship with your dad now. Yeah. I think Sam's advice is so true. You can, you know, like, I mean, once you've left out at home and she can see you can stand on your own 2 feet and that you and your boyfriend are good together and, you know, like all her worries and fears hopefully will disappear, or a lot of them anyway. And I think it's actually good that you're going to do that and move out, because it'll show your strength, that you're able to take care of yourself. Your boyfriend's able to look after yourself. You know, you can be independent, you know, and you can survive and thrive and flourish as a unit without being in the home with your mum. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes parents get scared about losing their kids, or they get worried for them, but they just, because they're a different generation, they're not on the same wavelength sometimes, you know, and they're when they might be thinking they're looking out for the person might be feeling the opposite. I mean, I always believe in supporting someone, encouraging someone, being there for someone. I think it's very important, you know. My life, my dad treated me like a son. He wanted a son. He was worried when he found out I was physically female, but realized that it's not who I was inside. He raised me like a son, and a daughter things he said. He raised me like a son, and a daughter things he said, and did make me think he might have known I was trans. Oh, made typo, yeah. And did make me think he might. Yeah, I mean, my dad, I feel, treated me like a guy, but I'm definitely female. I do have some guy traits though, which is not surprising. Like, I was using a rifle gun, an air gun, like an air rifle with air pellets under the age of 6 years old, shooting it into a target. I don't really think that's normal. Like, I know how to shoot an air rifle under 6 years old. I don't know many people who are 6 years old, under 6 years old, doing stuff like that. You love Nerf. This wasn't a Nerf gun. This was a proper pellet shotgun, like a big thing, not a Nerf gun. A Nerf is a kid's thing. This wasn't a kid's thing. This was an adult gun. Like, the pellets, if they went into someone, would have hurt someone, even though they were pellets. Like, it was an air rifle, a full big air rifle into this tree trunk target, shooting these pellets in there. Like, no, I know what Nerf is, because I've seen them in kids' department stores, but it's like all department stores that have a kids section. But this is like a proper air rifle gun with pellets, and I was under 6 because I remember it was at the bungalow, and I'm like, this is strange. Like, why am I being taught this? Am I going to need to know how to shoot something? I want to collect sharp things. Yeah, like I'm the opposite though. I like don't like sharp things. I like nice, soft, gentle butterfly things. Butterflies is one of my totem spirit animals, along with the moth. But yeah, so I like I know how to use swords and bow staffs. Yeah, I don't want to get involved with any of that, but I do know how to. Well, I did know how to do that. I used to be good on the hillbilly shootouts for that reason, I think, because I had practice. You know, like that's amusement in an amusement arcade. You get these things called hillbilly shootouts, and they are literally different targets, and you hit like the these are with air guns rather than pellet guns. You hit them, and these things move. Like the guy moves, he's like a farmer type guy. He moves and he squirts water at you, or the skunk lifts its tail up and squirts water at you out of its bum, or there's like a toilet, an outside toilet, and the door swings open and then water comes out at you. It's really funny. Yeah, like at a fair, my life. Yeah, you can get them at theme parks or fairs. You can get them in both. Yeah, Disneyland Paris had one. So you pay money and you use it, and I don't think I'm quite as good as I used to be, but I'm not bad, you know, and I do hit some. I think used to be better years ago, but well, I don't have much practice now. But yeah, I do quite like doing that. It's quite good fun, but you have to look down the barrel a certain way. But yeah, I do enjoy that type of thing. It's really nice. Really nice. I think we've gone way off topic here, but it's been lovely to spend time with you. It's been nice to hear your stories, my life, and everything. But yeah, so I was just trying to like say that aromantic asexuals and romantic asexuals, we both have similar struggles in different ways. I miss talking with people. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I'm going to love you and leave you for now because I've actually got a coaching client later today and I need to get some rest for it because I've still got some prep to do. An asexuality coaching client later today, so I need to do a lot of prep still for them, and it's gone 3 a.m. So I need to get some rest and get up and do some more work for that. So I'm going to love you and leave you for now. Thank you so much for my life. It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Eddie. KK, lots of love and light to everyone. Thank you so much. And 100% beef. Thank you so much to you too. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe below and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live. Like now, I'll post a new video. And I'll say good night to my life, good night to Sam, good night to everyone, Eddie and 100% beef. And oh, thanks for the heart, Sam. And I'll see you in the next video live stream. Until next time, brace your quirky and each other's. It's been a pleasure. Take care. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.